Mid-June and still at it. We boxed that up predominantly anyway, one side at least, the front. Can't really be boxed up yet because you've got to pull it all down to get the trucks in, but I can do that centre section and make sure that height there is correct. I can also just make sure that I probably will set it up partially like I did with the other one. Just some temporary posts to make sure the height is right, but I think it should be pretty well right. The only thing I would have to check is on the end of the slab to make sure that that board isn't going to be too high, in which case I might have to jackhammer a bit out. This end will be fine as it is pretty much sitting just below the edge of the slab anyway. So this one's stage 2. And that was Wednesday's pour. So we poured that Wednesday, 54, close to 54 cubic metres. Not exactly a small job. So now, if you happen to have noticed something in the foreground, I have the very, very much fun job of drilling 42 fucking holes, 200 mils deep, to anchor the slabs together. So they have to pretty much go like that. Obviously they're sitting back further on the bit of concrete so they don't fall off, but it isn't exactly the most fun thing on the planet. Although, what have I knocked off this morning so far? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 out of the 12. Well, 11 and a half, 10 and a half out of the 12. Since I couldn't get, I got that one in all right yesterday, just with the little drill, the old one. That one, yeah, no. Didn't matter what I did, it was just going to kill that drill. So we've ended up investing in a slightly bigger hammer drill, because the old one was about to fall apart, and so far we're getting there. It hasn't taken a ridiculous amount of time, but my God, it is a bastard of a job. A couple of them when you're going through the Rio, because inevitably you're going to hit something at some point. Even with those carbide, 4-corded carbide bit, it's fucking painful. So yeah, only 30 to go for now. Then there'll be another 42, and then there'll be another 42. So it'll be 126 of these bastard fucking things. But apart from that, mesh laid by my lonesome. It's amazing what you can do if you use ingenuity and a telehandler with a man basket on it. Hot pegs in, boxing done, So chalk line on the back wall ready as well. So we're getting there slowly. But yeah, this one will probably be an end of July pour. Try and stagger them slightly. So between that, now I've had a little bit of time to assess how I'm going to do the approach into the shed. So that shall come in another clip when it's done, because you need a rather large gap between whatever you want to put to keep the gravel back and the edge of the slab for the doors, since you need, it's a minimum of 14 inches from the doors to the slab basically, and that's a bit too much to drop tyres down into. So I do have a plan, all shall be revealed. But anyway, back to drilling fucking holes. Stripped the mower down, got to that point where I can actually get to the rollers, got the shafts off the end. This is the issue. Not the big clunk, but that rattling noise. That'll be one of the counterweights rattling around inside. But it has also totally fucked the shaft in there as well, where the bearing sits. So big jobs. Now we'll roll the spread. This is the top roller, this is the problem. They are the counterbalance, or some of the counterbalance weights. As you can see, it wants to roll back under its own accord when it stops, which tells me that it is out of balance. Well, this is turning into a lovely fucking job. No wonder they wanted $5.5 just to replace one roller. And that's not the cost of the roller, that's just the labour. I've taken the centre guard out, just so it's easier to be able to lift the rollers when it comes time. Got no idea what the hell I'm doing, but I do assume that this end comes off, because there is 2 bolts there. There was bolts down on the inside as well. Bolts there, bolt down there. Because pretty much there is no way known you can get the rollers out without taking the end off to do it. And there's no way you can get the new ones back in either. The only issue I'm going to have is how easily that piece comes off, given the gap there, and the fact that it has to move back from there, and the fact that it's got to come back from there. So whether I can just pull it back that inch when it's undone and I've got it suspended, the rollers, and then lift the whole thing up a bit and back, so I can at least remove that to drop the rollers down to get them out. Not quite sure how I'm going to do it. Whether I put a bit of wire, rope or something, or a bit of wire in the fence strainers and use it as a lifting point for the top one. The bottom one I can chain, that won't matter so much. Fun and joy. So, update. They're out. Wasn't exactly the most fun job on the planet. Ended up dropping the frame off completely from the deck, rolling it back far enough, because otherwise there was no way known you could get the side piece out, because the clearance wasn't significant enough. This piece is seen much better days. That's as thin as I don't know what you'd want to describe it as besides fucked, but of course that will carry the bearings for the bottom roller, so consequently I think I'm replacing the whole fucking goddamn thing. The other reason is there is meant to be a, well, it's either welded on or a captive nut of some description on the inside there, and it had a bolt through the front of the deck that bolted up through there. Where was it? Actually down here somewhere. No, it must have been that one. Why? Simply fucking why? Of all the places to put a fucking bolt with a captive nut, because what do you think happened? Every single other one of these bloody things came out quite happily, apart from the coach head bolt, but at least I had access to be able to cut the top off it, and then I had to cut underneath because the square wouldn't punch down through the deck, the hole in the deck. But that one there, yeah, right. So we had to cut and grind the end off from the inside. If this wasn't totally effed, I'd probably look at making up a square piece, threaded square piece that I could sit down in there, so at least it couldn't turn and you could put a bolt through. But given how rooted all that is and how critical it is for holding the bottom roller, I think that it could be time, since it's not exactly the easiest job on the planet, to replace the fucking piece, which isn't cheap, but then it's done. The other thing then, rather than having to have holes drilled through and put a bolt through so that this doesn't vibrate and wear them out, you'll end up with a new one of them that'll come with it as well, because all that's welded on. doesn't unbolt, so you can't just simply take that piece off. So that is where that stands. That motherfucker there was what was rattling around inside the roller. Just for good measure. Yeah, it's not exactly a small piece. Three bits of the, oh, what are they? 3 bits of 1/2 inch welded on top of each other, like what you would get on your lead wheel weights, except it's just flat steel. Yeah, so now it's just a matter of wait for the bits to turn up. I do believe there's one of these in Melbourne. Still waiting for the rollers, which have to come from the States, because they don't fucking have any in the country here. Well, they do, but it costs more to get the ones from Darwin that are in the country than what it does to get them from America. So once they're here, the fun will begin, because it was extraordinarily fun trying to pull it all out. So trying to get them both back in, along with that piece there, that could be a fun job. But anyway, that's where it stands at the moment.